It was the day after Christmas in 2002. I had already had Christmas at my dad's and my grandma's, and by this time I had accrued about $100. I knew that what I wanted more than anything was my own camera to take on vacation with me. I wanted to be able to take pictures of what I wanted without borrowing my mom's and worrying about wasting film. Wasting film? Is that even possible? How can a picture of anything be a waste? After a long search, finally I had in my possession my very own 35mm Canon PowerShot. It was like a dream come true. My mom bought me a box of film and I started shooting away. Summer came and I went off to camp, my favorite place in the world. I took 3 rolls of film in those 5 short days. I was so excited to get them developed. That was always my favorite part, because I could never remember exactly what I had captured, and then I would get them back and it was like an envelope full of surprises and memories. Soon my interest developed, and I began to pore over magazines, staring at the photographs, imagining what it would be like to take pictures like that. I wondered if mine could ever be that good. I really liked Vanity Fair and Rolling Stone magazines. The photographs fascinated me. In Vanity Fair, the shots of celebrities were so intimate that they made you feel connected. There weren't only godlike celebrities, but friends, people that I could relate to, or so the pictures made it seem. Newspapers and photojournalism also fascinated me because they were shots of real-life events, not just set up. A few years after my 35mm purchase, digital cameras began to make their rise to mega popularity. So I, of course, spent my Christmas money of 2005 on a Kodak EasyShare, and the madness really began. I was no longer confined to the 27 exposures on a roll of film. The possibilities were endless. Picture after picture I shot. I could delete what I didn't like and keep the rest. Although, one thing I didn't like was that the element of surprise was gone. You knew exactly how your pictures turned out the moment you took them. My goal was to document all 4 years of high school as something to look back on and to cherish. But high school wasn't that for me, and the camera got less use as the years of high school flew by. Wishing to forget rather than remember, I went through and deleted over half of my memories out of sheer frustration. That's the thing about digital pictures. You push one button and they're gone forever. But a print? You're much less likely to toss a print in the trash or set it on fire. Hence, the destroying process is much more burdensome to a lazy, irrational teenager. Since I was socially miserable in high school, I turned to my classes. A bit of a dork, I took as many classes as I could, but my favorite was photography. I finally was getting credit for something that I actually enjoyed. Here's where my love for photography blossomed. Not only photographing friends and events, but nature and architecture, anything that appealed to my creativity. My teacher told me that I had an eye for design and encouraged me to continue my photographic work. I continued buying magazines for the pictures. I continued to learn about design and composition from these magazines. I tried to mimic what others did using light and a subpar camera. As I started college, I wanted to fit in photography no matter what. Spring semester at Malone College began for me, as did my best class ever, photography with Gary Spangler. We got our assignments. Our first assignment was to capture the elements of design: line, shape, form, pattern, texture, and space. I went at the project fervently. When I developed my role, I realized that my eye for design wasn't quite maturing like I wanted it to. I was still looking at things from my angle, and I needed to get more creative. I went back to my high school hobby of looking at magazines, trying to gather more inspiration and a more creative outlook on the world, so that I could come up with interesting photographs. But then I realized that what the pictures in these magazines were saying is that there's beauty in the everyday. Beauty in disease and illness, in love and relationships, beauty in the mundane everyday life. I was looking too hard. All I needed to do was photograph what I see. Pictures do more than capture a moment. They tell a story. Today is my last day of photography, but it doesn't end here. I'm going to continue my photography all summer and hopefully come up with something great. I'll continue to scour Vanity Fair and Rolling Stone to see celebrities and rock stars portrayed as real people, full of life and emotion. I'm fascinated by the stories these pictures tell. As long as people are taking pictures, I'll be studying them. I hope to someday have a studio and be able to create photographs that others will want to discover the story behind. I'm so thankful for magazines and newspapers because I think that photography is the most honest way of recording history. You capture exact moments as they are to the human eye, and that is why, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words.